So, what do you think about the Facebook group and the blog website from what you've seen?
I really love the Facebook group. I love the fact that it was on a mainstream website.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a mainstream website like Facebook, I mean, we're
Mhm.
both students, we both get on Facebook every day. I mean, I spend about 5 or 6 hours on Facebook rather than doing homework.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of college students do that.
yeah. But I think it was the perfect place to attack racism.
Yeah.
I mean, the videos that you guys had on there, I mean, they were heads on attacking racism for what they saw. I mean, they weren't discriminating against companies that were big, small. You know, they hit racism head on. And I love that it was done on Facebook. I love that. I love that it was done on a college website by blogging.
Yeah.
Because college students, like I'm a college student myself, and I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in ourselves, we're, I don't know, maybe somewhat afraid to look at the world because we're afraid to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's surrounding us, and I feel like if we tackle racism at a younger age, when we get older, I mean, it won't be such an obstacle.
Right. Okay. Um, so, judging by what you saw on Facebook, if you could pick out one topic, video, or picture that affected you the most, what would that be?
It was the we're all a little bit racist. Okay, that really, the fact that they admitted that they were all racist, great. Okay, thank you for admitting it, but they were not willing to change. They they saw. I mean, throughout the video, they were just like, "Oh, we're all a little bit racist. We're all a little bit racist," patting each other back. We're all a little bit racist. But what about changing it?
Right.
What about changing it? What about committing to changing it? They did not care at all about changing it.
Right.
They're just like, "Oh, we're all a little bit racist. It's all right." And I feel like sometimes in our society, we look at each other like, we're all a little bit racist. There's a little bit of racism going on in the world. Okay, it's all right.
Right.
There's nothing we can do to change that, you know? When there's really something we can do to change that by stepping up and being like, okay, we need to change this. This is a problem.
Right.
Because I mean, it's not like we don't see the elephant in the room. Like,
Right.
you know, it's
Right,
not like
it's
we don't
there.
see it. Like, we see it every day, and we choose to avoid it.
Right.
I mean, let's just invite him into the conversation. Like, okay,
Right.
let's just get it over with.
Right.
And I found that video, it was just like, oh, we're all a little bit racist. We're all a little bit racist. And nothing was said at all about changing it,
Right.
which I think is,
That's a very, very good point
I
to
mean,
make.
it's scary, but
Right, it's scary,
true.
but I mean, if you think about it, that could be a great representation of our country and our society.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
I
what you
mean,
said.
just like looking at it and being like, oh, I don't want to change it right now. Just put it to the side. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know?
Right. It really,
Right.
it really does. So is openly talking about it something that's new for you?
No, it's not, because as an African American, I mean, I've fully encountered racism in my daily life. Um, Talking about it is not new to me because I feel like it's something that I have to do as a person,
Right.
not just being African American, just being, I don't know, just wanting um, everybody to kind of see racism for what it is,
Right.
and move on and get past it. You know, even the blind, racism that goes on around the world. I mean, I still want everybody to see it. I feel like once you start talking, you can start changing. You know, so I feel like I have to talk about racism, not just because of my color. Somewhat, I would say a little bit, somewhat, the things that I've encountered.
Right. It's just kind of fueled your need to talk about
Yeah,
it. Right.
just in my day-to-day life, just some of those things.
Right. Okay. And did the material that you saw on the website or that you've encountered make you feel uncomfortable at all?
No, it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable, and I think it. I think it's just a reason that when I was younger, my mom would just be like, you know, we lived in a primarily white neighborhood. And she said, there's gonna be people that you encounter that are racist, but you're gonna have to handle it sometime. You know, like you can't walk around and be like, okay, it's there, but I'm not gonna handle it. You're gonna have to handle it. And the fact that, but she also told me that, when racism occurs, you can't. I think it's better to look at the world I think it would be better for us to all look at the world colorblind. You know, just white and black. Because when we start looking at the world with color, first off, it's confusing as hell.
Yeah.
Second off, we start judging automatically. And it's just not worth it. We might as well look at the world black and white, judge people for their values. Because if you really truly look at a person, and I've always had a great group of mixed friends from different races and stuff, because I've always wanted to learn more about their cultures, you know?
Right.
I don't want to just limit myself to African American culture. I don't want to do that because I want to see everybody's culture. But at the same time, when I meet those people, I judge those people the same as I would judge a black guy walking down the street. I judge those people the same as I would judge anybody, a white kid walking down the street. I judge them all the same. I judge them on their values. And it's scary to judge people on their values and not their appearance because appearance is easy, right? When you see, if you walk down the street and you see an African American basketball player sagging his pants and walking down the street, it's hard for you to see past his appearance.
Right.
Because you're just like, oh, you know, he probably got here on his athletic scholarship. But you don't know, that kid may be holding a big academic scholarship.
Right.
And just decided to play basketball on a whim. You would never know that. Because it's so easy to judge on appearance. To judge on values takes work. Because you have to get to know that person, right?
Right.
To judge them on their values. You can't just be like, oh, they look this way. And I feel like our society sometimes teaches us judge on appearance. You know, because what did your parents say when you were leaving the house? Oh, you know, look sharp, you know, dress nice, you know, that's the first thing people look at.
Right.
I don't care if it's what the people look at. I don't care how they think I dress. I don't care what they think I look like. I care what they judge me on in my values. Because that's more important.
Exactly.
It's harder, but it's more important. So that's how I just want to finish that one.
Okay. Have you, well, you've said that you've personally experienced racism, but can you give me an example or two of how?
There's three that really get on my nerves. There's the one that is I feel every African American, Hispanic, anybody that is a minority has encountered. The point where you're walking up to somebody and they just look down. It's hurtful. Like, it is really hurtful for you to walk up to somebody and say hi and they look down as if they're fearing you or as if they're. When I first started encountering this, I was just like, am I not good enough to look in the eye? Like, am I not good enough for you to look me in my eye and talk to me? Like, what is the problem? Like, if I say hi to you when I'm walking past you on the campus and you look down at your feet, or you say, oh, you're black, you know, I don't know, I'm a little bit scared of you. Like, what did I do to make you scared of me? The other thing that I hate in encountering racism is, as an African American, having to prove yourself. You know, oh, you're intelligent. What is that a surprise?
Yeah.
Oh, you talk very intelligent. Is that a surprise? Like, what? Why do I have to prove myself?
Right.
Why do I have to prove myself to you because you can't get over my skin color? Why do I have to prove myself to you? Why do you have to assume my culture?
Right.
Assume that, oh, you guys eat fried chicken at your house, don't you? You love watermelon. No, I do not like watermelon. I don't like the seeds. Okay? No, we do not eat fried chicken in my house. We eat baked chicken. Okay?
Right.
I don't want to hear you assuming my culture.
Right.
Because you have not experienced my household. So don't assume just because I'm African American, I do this, my family does this, you know. Don't assume that. You don't know my family.
Exactly.
So look past my appearance. The last thing that really, really gets on my nerves is I grew up in a typical, basically suburban neighborhood, but it was mostly all Caucasian. And I would hate that when I would speak